You've tuned in to Books, Business, and Beyond, the show that teaches you how to maximize your income from your book to create the lifestyle you want. Now here's your host, the international expert who loves hiking mountains and a good cup of coffee in the mornings, Shelley Hitz, and her partner in success, Kristen Eckstein.
Welcome back to this episode of Books, Business, and Beyond. I'm Shelley Hitz, your co-host, and I'm here with Kristen, the Book Ninja, and she is ready to go. How are you, Kristen?
I'm great, Shelley. How are you doing today?
Good. I've been loving all your ninja pictures on social media. And
Yep, I've been releasing a few at a time.
Yes, and that's probably a great topic for another podcast on branding, but this week we're going to be talking about reviews, and this is a hot topic for authors, and it's an important topic, and we're going to be talking about some of our own tips. We are going to be both sharing and just giving you a lot of information and content on how to get reviews and how powerful those reviews can be. And one of the things that a lot of authors will say is, I asked a few people and nothing happened, so then they give up. But there's so much more that you can do, right, Kristen?
Absolutely. I mean, really, think about yourself and how often you forget stuff, or you say, yeah, I'll do that when you're in passing at an event or something like that, and then you totally forget about it. Or like you commit to do something like an interview for a podcast over social media and totally forget to and you don't get a reminder, and so you just totally forget about it. So that kind of stuff happens, and it happens all the time. And so if someone commits to give you a book review, it really helps to remind them of that, because life gets busy, life happens. And I mean, Shelley and I were talking candidly before we were recording this podcast, and we were talking about how my life has been completely flipped upside down lately, and yet I still put together 2 projects or 2 complete training systems, courses, and products in 1 week, while being technically homeless, living like a nomad and couch surfing with friends.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, just totally amazing. I'm like, how are we doing this?
That's another episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact is, if I committed to write a book review right now, I wouldn't remember. There is no way, unless I wrote it down and scheduled time to do it in my Google Calendar, I won't remember to do it. So you have to remind people. And I like to say bug the crap out of them until they either say, leave me the heck alone, or they do it. I like getting those reminders. I like, don't be mean about it, but just say, hey, it's been a week and I wondered if you got a chance to look at this yet. And then if they come back with, oh no, life's been really busy, I'll get to it. Get them to commit to a specific time they'll get it back to you by. And then follow up with them before that time. Like, don't wait until 5 minutes before the clock strikes midnight on that day to remind them that that's when their book review is due. I mean, because even though people are not supposed to get paid for doing reviews, and you shouldn't be paying them for this, it is customary to give them a copy of your book, either hard copy or a digital copy, and that's their payment. They're getting paid up to like maybe $20 if it's a $20 book to do a review. So right. you need to remind them that you gave them some valuable information for free, and it's not free. They're supposed to pay you back with that review, and just, be nice about it. And then if it gets to the point that they're like, you know what, you're bugging the crap out of me, and I'm not going to be able to do it at this time, just say, well, thank you. I'd like to remind you that I did give you a copy of my book, especially if it was a hard copy and you mailed it to them, which, by the way, I don't do. I only give out hard copies of my book for reviews after I got the review. I give them a digital copy to review and then thank them with a hard copy. So that's just a little rabbit trail side note there. But, just be nice about it and then remind them over and over and over again. And if they say, I'm just not going to be able to get to it at this time, say, okay, well, thank you for committing. Nice little gentle guilt manipulation reminder. And if you do get to it in the near future, I'd really appreciate it if you just post it on Amazon and give them the link, and then never ask for a review from them again. Put them on the no list.
normally if I have a launch planned, that gives a set deadline. So I'll say, I have a special promotion coming up for this book on such and such a date. I would really appreciate that if you could post your review before that date. Here are the links, And I give them at least 2 to 4 weeks. At the very minimum, 2 weeks. I try to give more time, but you don't want to do it too far in advance, or it just may get lost in the shuffle, like you said. And I try to follow up one time. If they just don't follow up, if they don't post the review, I typically tend to not bug them after one, maybe two, but I typically only do one follow-up. But like you said, Kristen, then I take them off my list to get future review copies because they did not complete the one that they already promised that they would do. They did not hold up their end of the agreement. And with any business type, agreement, that just shows you that they're not serious, and so you can take them off your reviewer list. But yeah, they say in email marketing, the fortune's in the follow-up, but with reviews it is too. I have noticed a huge increase and spike the day that I'll send out the one follow-up message. I'll say, hey, just wanted to see if you had a chance to post the review and this and that. And normally I look on Amazon and weed out those that I know posted it for sure. And then right away I tend to get several. So it's just like what you said, Kristen. People appreciate being reminded. And sometimes they'll be like, oh, I love the book. I just totally forgot to post the review. So that is so great. What other tips do you have, Kristen, for?
Well, one of mine is to keep track. I mean, you need to follow a system of who you asked for the review from, when you asked for that review, when you sent them a copy of your book, digital copy, what the Amazon link is for that book so you can easily reference it if they have any questions. And then when you followed up with them, first follow-up, second follow-up, and so on. And then when their review posted, whether it was 1 or 5 stars, whether they had helpful suggestions for you as to how to improve your book. So you need something to be able to keep track of that. And I personally use an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of it. And as a result of using that spreadsheet, I actually developed a bigger system. And you can find out about that at booksbusinessandbeyond.com/review system. You can actually get access to it there. But this is the system that I use. I mean, you can make it yourself if you want to just use a simple Excel spreadsheet. But you need to have a way of keeping track of what books, especially when you start writing a series, what books have gotten reviews, how many reviews have been posted, whether you need to get more reviews for that particular book, who you already asked, who didn't follow through, who did follow through, who's now on your no list. You need to keep track of all of that in a very easy to use system, because you don't want to be hunting down on your books on Amazon and having to try mentally keep track of all that. It's just way too much.
Yeah, and when you're launching a book, there are so many details that are happening all at once, all at one time, and so it's so important to have a system. I love systems. And so you have a place that people can actually download your exact system, right?
I do. You can go to booksbusinessandbeyond.com/review system, and that is the system that I developed that I use myself.
Yeah, and so, that is definitely something to check out if you want to, just use a system that is already proven to work. And I love doing that because it shortcuts the time. One of my favorite tips to share about getting reviews is from my personal experience. In 2012, I recently counted, and we published 23 books. And most of those books were...
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. It was a prolific year for us, and it was a year, and I did most of the writing and publishing, formatting. I mean, I was definitely doing a lot of stuff myself, and I was getting burnt out because we had so many books, and I was trying to get reviews for every single book because my personal standard, and it was the same standard then as it is now, is to get at least 10 reviews to get the ball rolling and then let them come in organically. Now I have some books that have hundreds of reviews, but they started with just a handful, 10 or more. And so I was getting so burnt out because if you think 23 books, that's 230 reviews. And I was like, I need a better way. What can what can I do to make this better? And I had seen like these big publishing companies having review programs, and they would actually send out print books, and then you would agree to post something on your blog about the book, as well as a review on Amazon and this and that. And I thought, man, why can't we, I'm talking about independent publishers and self-published authors, also have a review system and a review program? And so I just started researching and researching. I didn't find the perfect plugin or the perfect system to do it exactly the way these big publishers do it, but I simply used an email list, an opt-in email list, just like you do in internet marketing, regular, email subscriber list, and it was specifically for my reviewers. So at that point, I'd already had a bunch of people that had done reviews for me, and I invited them to be on that list. I mentioned it in social media, on certain groups, ways to get free books, and I have since built a list of hundreds and hundreds of reviewers for my Christian books, my Christian nonfiction books, and I haven't looked lately, but it's less than 100 authors that are willing to review the books that I write for authors. So I have 2 separate lists for the different genres I write in. And now what I can do is simply send out one email, and within like a few days sometimes, or within a week, I will have all the 10 basic email or reviews that I need posted and done, and usually within 24 hours I've had 30 or so requests. So I mean, it's just really, really powerful, and it takes time. It's not an instant system. It's not, okay, it'll be done today, but if you start building it today, you're going to find that it's going to grow, and it's going to become such a powerful thing for you, especially if you publish a lot of books like we do. And so that's been one of my biggest tips in getting reviews.
Yeah, and actually I did that with my author's quick course series or quick guide series back when I wrote those 18 Kindle books in 18 weeks, which I still think about that and still think how insane it was. I had an interview actually this morning that was all about that, and it was just like, really, I did that? Holy crap. She said, why in your right mind would you choose to do that? I'm like, well, let me think. I don't regret it at all. It was pretty amazing. But when I wrote all those books, I wanted to get book reviews. I wanted to get the ball rolling on Amazon and really show Amazon that my series was worth paying attention to and worth marketing. And part of that is reviews. So what I did was I had a Facebook group called Candid Conversations on Everything Books. And I posted in there, hey, would anybody be interested in getting emailed every time I release a book? I'm doing this challenge for myself. It's a personal challenge. And I got people following me to see if I really would mess it up, to see if I'd actually follow through and do the challenge and do the 18 books in 18 weeks. And I also got 60 people on a review list. Now, because I was pumping out one book a week, which I don't really recommend you do as authors, but one book a month is perfectly acceptable for a short Kindle series. I recommend that you rotate your reviewers on those email lists. So I had 3 different lists of 20 people each. I only got maybe 4 to 6 reviews per list, and that's not a big deal. But what I did was I sent them a Dropbox link where they could download the PDF, and then I sent them the link to where the book was already posted on Amazon and asked them to just simply post it there. Because I didn't have time to get a review from them and put it inside the book. It was already up on Kindle. So that worked out really well for me, because then list number 1 got book number 1, list number 2 got book 2, list number 3 got book 3, and then I rotated back to list number 1 for book 4, and so on. So that did a couple of things. Actually, if you write a series, this is especially just worked out really well for me. It's brilliant. If I do say so myself, as my own idea, but I guess I could say that about my own ideas, right? They're brilliant. What I did was, because I rotated people, not everybody got every book in the series for free. So they were buying them because they're like, wait, well, I didn't get to review that one. Okay, I guess I'll just go buy it. And then they knew they were on a rotation. They knew not every single person got every single book in the series. So I sold a lot of books just to my reviewer list, because people either weren't on the rotation to get that, 2 out of the 3 books, every 3rd book, or they wanted the Kindle version because I only sent them a PDF version. Yeah, and I secured my PDFs because if you have access to the Adobe Creative Suite and you have Adobe Acrobat Pro, you can secure your PDFs so that people can't print them out. They can read them on the computer screen, but they can't print them. And so I did that. So if they wanted to read them on their Kindle, they could buy the Kindle version, which a lot of them did, and they didn't care. They didn't mind that at all.
Yeah, and that's a great tip as far as just splitting up your different lists and rotating them, being able to, secure your PDF in that way. And, those are just extra little tips, that you're learning on this podcast about reviews. Another thing I've done is I've been able to contact Amazon top reviewers. And one of my books actually had an Amazon top reviewer download the book when it was free and post a review without me even asking. And so that is awesome when that happens. But one way you can do this is, you can just search the Amazon top reviewers. It's amazon.com/review/top-reviewers. And there you can search the different reviewers that are in your genre or that have reviewed books in your genre. When you do this, you want to be very careful to read their bio, read the type of books that they review, because some reviewers get a little bit upset with you if you ask them to review books that they've already made public that they don't review. And you want to have a good relationship with reviewers because they do, it is such a big thing for credibility and just social proof. And there is research that shows that people do base their buying, decisions online on reviews. So you don't want to get them upset at you, but you can look through those top reviewers, and a lot of them in their Amazon profile will have a link to their website, or they will have their email address. So you can contact them and ask them if they'd be interested to review your book. And one tool that I've used that makes it really easy is Author Marketing Club has in their premium membership, and we'll provide a link in the show notes, but it's just booksbusinessandbeyond.com/review grabber. And if you go there and you're part of the premium membership there, you can actually just type in the type of book that that your book is similar to, and then what it will do is it will find all of the reviewers that have profiles and email addresses and website links and stuff in their profiles. It will mine and it will find all that data for you, and so you don't have to be searching, in the for the needle in the haystack. And so that's a really great little tool to use as well. But Amazon top reviewers are nice because once they post their review for you, there's a little badge next to their name that gives them extra credibility as a reviewer, and it says what, if they're the top 5,000 reviewer or the top 100 reviewer. So that's a really cool thing as well.
That is an excellent tip, Shelley. And those of you who are wondering why I'm letting Shelley kind of take a point on this one, she did write the book on book reviews. So we should probably share a link to that too, so people can go pick up your book from Amazon.
Yeah, actually we have an entire system with templates and video, just all kinds of PDFs and extra information. So you can check it out at booksbusinessandbeyond.com/honest reviews. And that will you'll get everything in one spot, and all the templates I use in my emails, and it makes it so much easier because you just can copy and paste and edit it to what you need. I love templates. I know Kristen does too. And so that's just another resource for you guys to check out. Well, we're running out of time. Is there any additional tips or things that you want to share on this topic?
There's so many things I can share. There's one other thing. If you haven't started a Facebook group for your topic yet, not for your book, but for your topic, then I would start one. And those are prime people. They're always searching Facebook for groups to join. People are always interested in hot topics so they can share ideas and network with other people. So, create a group like that and then start building that list, because that's what it is. It's a list, and use those people to promote your book to get reviews.
Yeah, that's great. And I know that was one of the things that really worked well for you in the beginning, because you already had an active Facebook group, and I was in there and I was watching you do it, and you were like, hey, I'm doing these author quick guide series, anyone want to be a reviewer? And you were having people respond. And so if you have an active Facebook group, that is a great way to do it. Now, I do caution you, it does take a lot of time to moderate Facebook groups. And so one thing you may want to consider is having a couple other people agree to help moderate for you. And that's what I'm doing in my Facebook groups. I have a Facebook group just specifically on the topic of gratitude, and I've written a series on that. But I have somebody there that, you know, she'll approve people, she'll moderate, she'll delete the spam, and I don't even have to worry about it. So it's really, really helpful to have moderators and to have people that can help you in that process. But we're pretty much down to the wire with the time today. We have so much more we could share, but we've provided all the links to the resources in the show notes, and we're just so excited to share with you the next episode, which is going to be about publicizing your book with Sandra Beckwith. She has a wealth of information, and you definitely do not want to miss this episode. So thanks again for joining us at Books, Business, and Beyond, and we will catch you next time.
You've been listening to Books, Business, and Beyond, the show that teaches you how to maximize your income from your book to create the lifestyle you want. Visit your host, international best-selling author Shelley Hitz, and her partner in success, Kristen, the Book Ninja Eckstein, at booksbusinessandbeyond.com and grab your free gift today. Tune in next time for more ways to diversify your income beyond the book, and don't miss a single episode. Subscribe to this podcast on iTunes.